major updates to the Cricket situation. So let's talk about it all and break it down. What does this mean for the future? Are you satisfied? And what's going to happen from here on out? Welcome to the Sewing Report. I'm Jen, and this channel is all about making sewing and crafts fun and approachable. Obviously, this week's been a little bit out of the ordinary, and you guys have now brought me out of live stream retirement because I have not done a live stream in a few years. So lately I haven't really been doing them, but with everything going on and with this late breaking change to Cricket, I knew I had to do something tonight. I apologize. I feel super gross. I need to take a shower. I've got a roast in the oven for real, and I also need to finish some laundry. But welcome. If this is your first time here at a live stream, I used to do these shows like every Sunday, and then I kind of dropped off. And if you're new here, thank you so much for subscribing and following me. So let's get right into the Cricket announcement. And I apologize if I have any issues. This is the first time I've ever used this streaming platform to do anything live, so I'm not really sure how it's going to go, but let me bring up the full screen. So this is what Cricket just posted to the website. They also posted it on Instagram, Facebook, and of course the website. So the CEO, I'm going to butcher the name, Ashish Arora, Cricket CEO. So in a nutshell, Cricket has heard us. That is good, and I will say credit where credit's due, because obviously all of the blowback over this weekend and yesterday, it seems like they definitely noticed, and I know for a fact the corporate Cricket folks have definitely seen the video I made on Sunday about the Cricket changes. So let me try to read this. Dear Cricket members, one of our core values is community. We're listening and we took your feedback to heart. The foundation of our Cricket community is one of integrity, respect, and trust. It is clear that in this instance, we did not understand the full impact of our recent decision on our current members and their machines. We apologize. Whew. Yeah, that's for sure, right? So here's how we'll move forward. We will continue to allow an unlimited number of personal image and pattern uploads for members with a Cricut account registered and activated with a cutting machine before December 31st, 2021. This benefit will continue for the lifetime of your use of these machines. So the good news is that if you even have a free Cricut Design Space account before December 31st of this year, you should have unlimited upload benefits, I guess, forever. Now, I have emailed Cricut PR, and I'll talk a little bit more about this later, but I did get an answer back from them after they'd already put out their statement publicly. They basically sent me the same thing I'm reading here, and I asked for a clarification about whether this would be for any machine you buy in the future or just your current machine. They did not have a concrete answer for me at this time, and I asked if they could try to update me whenever they did have some specifics. So let's move on to machine resales or transfers. We welcome new members to the Cricut community. Whenever they purchase a newer pre-owned machine, if a machine is resold or transferred to a new user, the new user must set up their own Cricut account. As long as the new user credits their account and connects the machine to their account before December 31st of 2021, we will grant the benefit of an unlimited number of uploads to the new user for the lifetime of their use of the machine. This is also good, at least if you sell your machine before the end of the year. The new buyer can also get the unlimited uploads. And it looks like this kind of debunks the rumor about your machines being bricked. So they're saying here that they are not going to deactivate machines. So even if you sell your machine after the end of this year, the new user can still use it. They just won't get the free unlimited uploads. So there's that. Schools and education makerspaces. I didn't even think about this angle, but it's interesting. So we understand teachers, schools, and other education makerspaces have different needs for ongoing user account creation. While we don't have anything to share right now, and nothing will change before December 31st, 2021, we are looking at ways to address these ongoing needs and their relation to image uploads. Yeah, I mean, they probably have a ton of stuff they're doing, and maybe there's a school and there's like one or two Cricuts, and maybe the entire school shares it. So they're certainly going to have heavier traffic than a personal user like myself. Future. We will continue to explore affordable ways for our future users who register machines after December 31st, 2021 to allow an unlimited number of personal image and pattern uploads. Of course, paid Cricut subscribers will continue to enjoy an unlimited number of uploads along with other subscriber benefits. We will also continue to invest in our content, software, and value for all members. Ashish Arora. So, what does everybody think of this? Is this a good resolution for you? How do you guys feel at this point? I have some mixed emotions about it, but I would like to say, though, that putting our voices out like this in the past few days, it has to have helped. So whether it's the video I put out on Sunday or I've seen some other videos. In fact, one video I would highly recommend you check out, and I'll bring it up right here. There is a guy that has a channel called 3D Musketeers. He's not even in the crafting space, and he did a great video about what's going on with Cricut. I really liked what he has to say. So definitely check it out. Let me kind of bring this up real quick. Definitely check it out if you're able to, because I really thought his video was very good. I thought he had great points to make, that in stuff that kind of I didn't even think about. Just, by kind of making you pay for an item you own after you've already bought it. I mean, it is pretty crazy, and I still can't believe that decision was even made in the first place. I mean, I don't know how anyone inside of the corporate structure would think, yeah, this is going to go over well, especially if you know anything about crafters. So, all right, so let's take a look at some of the comments. All right. I will use my Cricut for now, but I'll never buy another one. Tracy agreed. Coming together, voices aligned, and influencers like yourself helped with this. Thank you, Jen, being willing to speak out. So, yeah, I'm glad. On one hand, I am really glad that they seem to be listening. I do know for a fact, so I had reached out to Cricut PR the other day, and I sent them it was a fair but kind of stern email. I asked a bunch of questions, and I said, would somebody be willing to go on camera with me here on the channel? I'd like to I wanted to give Cricut a chance to respond and, maybe try to clear the air. I was not expecting a response because I'm nobody. Like, let's be clear. I'm not, while I used to work at CNN, I'm not CNN. I'm not, and I also don't have a huge channel. So they really didn't have much of a reason to pay attention to me. And they only got back to me after they'd already put out the statement for everybody anyways. So they just resent me everything that was already out there. Now, I did write back and I asked them about the machine clarification. So I have an account now. What happens in 2 years if I did decide to upgrade to another machine, which I'm not going to, but if I was, would that machine also be covered under the account with the unlimited usage? And it seems like they're still trying to figure that out inside the building. So, let's wait and see what happens. And here's the interesting thing, though, that I will tell you. So all right, I'm not going to show you the email because this lady's name is on it and I don't want her to be doxxed. So Cricut definitely farms out the PR to an outside company, which is pretty common. A lot of companies have a marketing or advertising or PR agency do a lot of that stuff, and it's not done in-house. So this person that's handling Cricut's account does not work for Cricut. They work for this company, ID PR. So I emailed back and forth with them like a couple times. And okay, so I said, one more question. So she sends me the statement. I write back and I said, thank you for getting back to me. So then the PR person wrote back and said, of course, will you be posting a follow-up video? So I'm like, yeah. So clearly I think Cricut sees me as a bit of a nuisance. I don't think they liked the fact that I made this video. I don't think they especially liked that it was ranking very highly for the search term Cricut. So for the past few days, if you just typed in Cricut into YouTube or even Google, my video was the first thing that popped up, and it was not a positive video. So I'm sure that Cricut has seen the video. I don't think they like it. I don't think they're a Sewing Report fan, and I'm gonna guess I'm not gonna be getting like a Christmas card from the folks at Cricut. So, but I did find it telling that they're just like, so are you going to make an update video? Basically, like, I think they're trying to do damage control, and they know that videos like the one I put out the other day are not helping their brand. So I'm kind of like, whatever on that. Like they're not interested. They didn't really seem interested in like building a bridge with me. They're just like, so are you going to make another video, so I can talk about their, positive changes. And would they have made these changes if we had not been so loud? I don't think so. But at the same time, I'm still grateful that we did what we did and they did make those changes. Now, what that means moving forward, I'm not really sure. And as has been revealed this week, the timing of Cricut also trying to file an IPO, an initial public offering, so that Cricut stock can be sold to the public, that really makes a lot of sense and connects a lot of the dots for me, especially since they're trying to raise $100 million. And I'm going to be collaborating. We're hoping to get these videos out in the next week. I'm going to be having a conversation with some other people that are kind of in an adjacent space, and they're very passionate about this issue. And they've been doing a lot of deep diving into the SEC filing, so the Securities and Exchange Commission. And there's some very telling information in the SEC filing. If you have not read it and you like legal documents, check it out. During the pandemic, that was like basically the best thing that could have ever happened to Cricut. They had record sales. They made like $959 in sales. So Cricut is not a company that is hurting for money. And I just feel like the timing of this, especially to try to squeeze out money from consumers out of machines they already own. And that's what people had a problem with. It's not that they made the change. It's that it was sprung upon people that had already bought the products. So I do think that their response today at least does help a bit with that situation. And at least moving forward, customers hopefully, and I do hope they're very transparent in the marketing, that there is an ongoing maintenance cost of ownership if you upload more than 20 files a month. I do hope they make that very clear online and in the marketing materials so that consumers can make an informed decision, because we deserve to have all the information. I'm very careful with my purchases. It took me 2 years to buy a Cricut Maker. They came out years ago, and I still went back and forth a lot on whether I needed one or what I should do. And it took me a long time to pull the trigger. And I am one of those people that does a lot of research whenever I'm buying something. So, and I know many of you are as well. Okay, so, all right, let's see some of the comments. All right, it is unclear why they want to upload. All right, so L Squared Craft says, it is unclear why they want to limit uploads at all. And that's a question I have. I still want more. I really would like them to consider the offline downloadable version of software, so we don't need to upload any images to this cloud server. And, and I was looking at some of my SVG files, and I work with video files a lot. They're huge. I have some files that are 4K that are 28 gigabytes. The SVG files are nothing. They're like 25 kilobytes. That is so minuscule. The cost, I just don't buy that the cost of storage is really breaking Cricut. And in fact, in the SEC filing, Cricut spelled out that the subscription service is one of the highest margin items. So they make the most profit off of subscriptions. So that's why it makes sense for them to want to push people towards subscriptions. And under their risk factors for the SEC filing, they're concerned about people not subscribing because some people don't want to. And that's the other thing. Some people just want to be able to upload their files. They're not interested in any of the Cricut designs. So, I mean, maybe they can create, if they don't offer us like an offline version, at least maybe a super low cost version for the new customers if they just want to do the uploads and they don't want any of the Cricut designs. So, I mean, there's a lot to think about. I want to know, even after they've gone back and walked back this initial announcement, how do you feel about the company brand? Do you feel good about it? Like, compared to last week before they made this announcement, has this changed your opinion about the Cricut brand? And moving forward, are you going to continue to support the company? I feel a little weird about it. And my emails with this PR person did not make me feel any better. I've had a lot of kind of, I don't know, I've had some negative or at least just some sort of like red flag moments with brands that have emailed me. I work a lot with Brother Sewing Machines, and I work a lot with different brands of products. And, I'll be honest, one brand that I do talk about a lot here on the channel, and that it's not sponsored, I buy everything myself. I had a representative from that company contact me, and they said, hey, we saw you have done a lot of videos on our product, great. And then they asked me for internal analytics on my YouTube channel. Now, I don't have a business relationship with this company at all. And I thought it was very strange that they would just expect me to hand that over. And I declined, and I said, hey, you know what? I pointed them to Social Blade. If you're not familiar, you can actually see a lot of metrics on YouTubers on socialblade.com. But I said, hey, all the other stuff is private information. And that's the thing, I don't work for these people. Like, that's why I'm independent. So, those sort of interactions puts me off to working with some of these companies because I just don't feel good about it. And I don't know, when you get like that gut feeling in the back, like you're like, it just doesn't feel right. Sometimes you just have to say, you know what, I'm not going to do it. All right. So a lot of people still, all right, from the comments, seems like a lot of people still want to cancel Cricut. Some folks are saying that Axis has outdated images. And I paid for my premium access plan in advance. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the subscription run out. And I didn't mind the projects. Like, I bought the subscription because I'm not one of those people that designs my own images or files. And I just wanted projects I could make that were kind of easy and stuff that I didn't have to design. So I've been okay with the selection of stuff. But the company decisions in last week has really put me in a position where I don't think I can give Cricut any more money. I added up all of the money I've spent on Cricut brand products, and it's over $1,000 for the past 6 months. And, I am not one of these YouTubers that gets free stuff from Cricut. Again, and videos like this are certainly not going to help me make any friends in this space. And I'm fully aware of that. And I also kind of want to talk a little bit about the whole influencer culture too. So if you guys have any questions about influencer marketing or, anything maybe I can clear up, let me know below in the comments or here in the chat, because I'll try to be, and I am going to do a video again with this other person soon, where we're going to kind of shed some light on how the influencer ecosystem works. So look, I totally get that YouTubers, especially if you're doing this full time, you need to make this financially feasible. I completely understand that. I think what we've seen this week, though, is, and I've seen a lot of complaints about this, is the people that were really hawking the Cricut stuff and they're clearly being paid by Cricut or are on the Cricut, they're getting the freebies and stuff. I know a lot of you are frustrated that these people didn't speak out or didn't really advocate for the crafting community. And I know why. It's because if they're being paid by Cricut and they have a contractual obligation, every contract I've ever seen involving like the influencer company relationship, there is always verbiage in there that prohibits you from making disparaging remarks about the company, speaking badly about them, or damaging their brand. And as a few people have pointed out on Reddit, even using the Cricut design space, there's some verbiage in there that none of us can talk badly about Cricut, which is crazy and I don't think is enforceable. But you have to understand that the people that are partnered up with Cricut, they're certainly not going to be able to make videos like the video I made talking about Cricut. So just understand that those folks are not going to be able to do that. And it's up to you, whether moving forward you want to support that or not. I will say that it is very challenging to do a channel, especially like this, and I'm smaller, without doing brand deals and sponsorships. But in the past 2 years, I've personally really come to realize that that is not for me. I don't really like doing sponsored videos. I don't like, and a big reason is because I don't like watching sponsored content. I'm just gonna be real. If a blog is sponsored or if a video is sponsored, that's an immediate turnoff for me. So from my perspective, if I'm going to be putting out content, I don't want to put out the type of content that I personally would not watch or not respect. So I don't really want to do that type of thing. But it is very hard to remain independent. I'm sure I don't make nearly the money that some of these bigger channels do with all the fancy partnerships, and I don't really do a lot of freebies. I have a policy, if you're not familiar, that if someone tries to send me something, I say, you're welcome to send it, but I don't guarantee jack. So if you send it and I like it, I may talk about it, but I don't make any promises. I don't say, yes, if you send me a product, I will do a video on it, which is a typical arrangement in the influencer space. Is, they'll say, we're going to send this to you in exchange for social media posts. So that is an agreement and there is an exchange of value. It's just a little bit different than an outright sponsored video where they not only get the product, but they also get money and a contract. And from what I've experienced over the years, typically just the freebies in exchange for the posting. Usually there's no contract for that, but there always is something in writing for a sponsorship where they're getting paid actual money. And in fact, I've had partnerships, I've only done like 2 or 3, where I wasn't even getting money and they still had stuff in writing and I had to sign a contract and I wasn't even getting paid. And would I do that in hindsight again? Absolutely not. Because I think when especially when you're starting out and you're blogging or you're vlogging, it can be very exciting when this company that you know and love reaches out to you to partner up and you're like, this is going to be great. But I don't know, I haven't had the best experiences with that. So that's why I've kind of over the years shied away from that. All right, let's read some more of the comments. Okay, a lot of people are still going to Silhouette. Man, you guys are really still fired up. This is so crazy. So anyways, if you do have any influencer questions, I'll be very transparent. And I think that's why I don't think Cricut likes that I'm doing this. So because I'm independent. So, and I would also like to say that that's part of the reason why when I used to work, if you're new here and you have no idea who the heck I am, I used to be a news producer. So that was my job for about 15 years. And it was a very hardcore practice in pretty much all newsrooms that journalists are not allowed to accept anything of value. So I think there was a limit. It's called payola and plugola. And I've explained this in another video I did about sponsorships and brand deals, that you typically can't, as a journalist, accept gifts over like $50 or something like that. And it's the reason that's put in place is for conflict of interest. Say I'm working as a TV reporter and I get a free Tesla, and then something really bad happens with Tesla. I'm not going to be able to be objectively able to report on the Tesla story because I got a free Tesla. So does that concept make sense? So anytime anyone's getting something for free for a company, I would say you should take that into account whenever you are watching their content or reading their blog or whatever. So if there is a business relationship there is just no way, it's impossible to be 100% unbiased or objective. So, I'm just going to say that some people might not agree. I don't really care, but I think what happened with Cricut this week has made me so glad and really validated my decision to try to be as independent as possible. If I had had like 10 sponsorships or something, and say I was partnered up with like Joann Fabrics, which sells Cricut, I still probably wouldn't have been able to make the video I did about Cricut. So it kind of all interconnects, but that's why I think it's really important to have folks that don't have these business ties, because when stuff like this happens, then I can make a video without fear of losing my sponsorships or whatever. So anyways, all right. Okay, someone says I'm hurting myself. Well, here's the thing though. If I was a Cricut partner, I wouldn't have been able to make that video. And if that video contributed to Cricket changing their decision, then you guys would still all be out. So I don't regret anything, and I don't feel like I do not feel like I am hurting myself. I'm okay with not doing the sponsorships because I want to be able to keep doing videos like this and being able to keep advocating for the maker community. And I think the more I get in bed with all of these corporate entities, I think the less I can do that. Now, that's not to say, I can't say for sure, like I'll never do a sponsorship. I don't know. But at this point, it's not looking too appealing. And I'm really glad that I was in this situation to be able to be free and speak about this stuff. So anyways, that's just my opinion. And that's the thing too. You know, Scarlett, you say it's a trust thing. And that's the thing as well. I think the trust, building your reputation, you only get one of them. So if you lose the trust of your audience, especially the influencer types, it's going to be very hard to get that back. Like Cricut, you know, I don't know if I trust this brand anymore. I have decided though that I'm not going to be featuring Cricut in videos anymore. Now I spent $1,000 on this stuff. That's hard. But I've decided that I'm probably going to continue to use up my Cricut Access until it runs out. I will use the Cricut since I already have it and I bought like tons of stuff. I'll use it behind the scenes, but I'm not going to be doing any more dedicated videos with the Cricut because I don't feel very good about that. So I'm going to be looking into some other options. I think I'm going to go for the Silhouette. That's looking like a really appealing machine to me. And I do apologize, though. I did shoot an upcoming video that I'm working on about sewing a tote bag. I did use my Cricut Easy Press during the making of it, and it was before all this went down. So that there will be some footage of the Easy Press in there, but I'm not going to mention it. I'm not giving Cricut any more free publicity, that's for sure. I've done 7 dedicated videos featuring the Cricut. They did not pay me. Again, I'm not on their PR list, so all of this stuff is completely unsponsored. And I just don't think this company deserves any more free promotions. So I'm definitely done with that. That being said, though, I don't hate the brand. I don't, like I think if you have the Cricut and you can't afford to switch, keep using the Cricut, especially now that they have made these changes. So at least for now, we're in a place where we're at least not any worse off. So, wow, lots of comments, you guys. Wow. But thank you. I really appreciate all the support this week. I've made a ton of really cool friends in r/Cricut. I've been lurking in there for a long time, but I hadn't really said anything in there. But there's a lot of really cool people in there, and I'm really appreciative about that. I've met some new friends this week that hopefully we'll be doing some videos together with. Yeah, and so yeah, there's that. So yeah, I don't know. So I don't know where we go from here. Long term, who knows? I mean, maybe they'll raise the prices on Cricut Access. I don't know. I feel so done with this whole thing that I'm just like, ugh. And sorry, I feel like I'm losing my voice, and I have to shoot 3 things tomorrow. But I decided to do this live stream instead of take a shower. Is that the right decision? I'm not really sure. And I also want to kind of, share, if you like these types of videos, if you want people like me making videos that are holding companies accountable or being critical about things that we have a right to be critical for, please support people like that. There have been a lot of smaller, unsponsored people speaking out on YouTube. I've tried to watch their videos and leave comments, and, definitely, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of us out there that don't, we're not big money people. Show them some love, and, and if you like this sort of thing, let them know. Say, hey, I really like unsponsored videos, or I really like videos talking about what's happening with Cricut or any other company. But okay, yeah, go check on your roast. I think I'm okay. I turned down the temperature to 325, so I think it'll be all right. So I don't know how long this live stream will be. I'll definitely read some more questions. So somebody recommends the Brothers Scan and Cut. I don't know if this is true. Check me on this. People were saying that it does not take third-party software, and a lot of people were put off by that because it had like Cricut-esque vibes, because Cricut only allows its proprietary software to be used. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting tired, guys. And I do at some point need to take a shower. I feel so gross right now. Like, this is crazy. All right, so, okay, got a comment. I've watched you from the CNN days. Thank you for that. But yeah, let me know what kind of, if you're new here, I really appreciate you stopping by here. I do hope you subscribe, and I do hope that I can earn your viewership. I don't want you to watch these videos because you feel like you have to, but I really hope to bring you content that you want to see. I also try to occasionally do some interviews with other people in the sewing and crafting community. If you haven't watched, I did an interview in last week's video with a guy named Jack Sews. He lost his job, his 2 jobs during COVID, and then started an upcycling sewing business. Really inspiring young guy. And okay, so let's read some more comments. All right. I think the changes should serve as a lesson not to use a crafting cutter for business. Interesting. All right. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, they get a lot of money for, yeah, so the amount of profit that Cricut made last year is insane. I'll pull up, you know what? Hey, let's pull up their SEC filing here. I mean, I think if anything comes out of this, at least we know where Cricut stands and everything. And it seems to be towards making more money, which I understand. They're a business. I am wondering how they will conduct themselves as a company moving forward once it's a publicly traded company. Because as we've seen, a lot of companies, once they get very large, you know, sometimes they don't always turn out very well. So will they answer to customers, or will they answer to stockholders and shareholders? I don't know. That's a good question, and I think we're going to have to, I guess, stay tuned. But yeah, I do feel like there's definitely some permanent damage that's been done to the Cricut brand in the eyes of customers, for sure. I feel like I can't trust what this company says. I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic, and I will encourage you, if you want to keep Cricut accountable, and other big companies. I was listening to a live stream earlier today with some ladies on Instagram talking about this. All of these companies they're all the same. You know, it's not like, even if we switch over to Brother or switch over to like Silhouette, they're all corporations. So you also have to keep that in mind too, that none of them are really like looking out for the little guy. I do hope that they see the value in serving their customers first. And that's an attitude I try to take here. And I really hope that they take, okay, so here we go. All right, let's bring this up. Okay, hold on a second. Sorry, this is literally, I feel so clunky with this software and stuff. All right, here we go. So this is the revenue. For 2018, the total revenue was $340 million. 2019, $487 million. And in 2020, $959 million. So in 2020, during the pandemic, Cricut definitely doubled their revenue. So this is not a company that is hurting for money. Let's just say that. They did just fine last year. I just felt like as I was reading this SEC filing, I just kept getting more and more like pissed off. And I was like, ugh. But I do hope that they see the value in the community, because again, they have seen this week, social media can be a real burn. And I think if you want to keep seeing this company hopefully doing the right thing, if anything for the outrage, then keep speaking up, keep letting them know what you think. You know, I saw that a bunch of people tried to email all the corporate folks. And okay, so someone's asking what an initial public offering is. And it's they want to get Cricut on the stock exchange. So I believe the abbreviation would be CR, I think CT. And I think if you haven't seen Cowbutt Crunchy's cosplay on Instagram, and that's who I'm really trying to team up with for this video about the SEC filing, because they've done a lot of research on it. Before stock is publicly traded, there's usually like internal stock. So like executives at Cricut might already have their own private stock. Once the company goes public, all of these corporate executives with privately held shares, once it's publicly traded, their shares will be worth way more money. So that's really the motivation behind all this, is so that the people that own Cricut stock make tons more money. So that's what they're all about, and they've made that pretty clear. I think this wasn't the smartest move to do. They should have, like, the plan they just released today, they should have done that from the get-go. I don't know why they didn't. I don't understand how they didn't realize that people would be this upset, but they definitely were. And yeah, I don't know. This is just crazy. So Ian says they have shot themselves in the foot, Google. And you know what? I forgot. I can actually show some comments up here. Oh, okay. Forgive me. I'm so like brain dead right now that I'm not really with it. All right. So yeah, let's bring some of these comments up. This is okay. So the software I'm using is called StreamYard. It is awesome. If you guys do any sort of like stuff like this, I would highly recommend this company, because it's a little pricey, but I'm using it for like 3 different podcasts or for different purposes. So it's been really great. I actually saw the Cricut video on my news feed with a link of the video. And yeah, that's the thing. I definitely was a thorn in Cricut's side this week. And it was because my video was ranked so high for the search term just Cricut. So they did not like that, because when people are Googling and in my analytics on the video, I think 60% of the views were external. I think a lot of them were coming from Google. Also, the video was picked up by The Verge, so that was interesting. I've never been featured in The Verge before, but I was really, I am really glad that I was. If I contributed to this at all, to their change, then that's awesome. So I do this here because I do want to give back to the community and serve you guys. And also my whole purpose here is I really want to introduce sewing and crafting to people that wouldn't otherwise consider it, and help beginners. So that's what this channel is all about. I have videos. I do a lot of different types. I have a little bit of focus issues. I don't always do like the same. My channel is not like 100% Cricut or anything. I do embroidery, I do sewing, I've done quilting. I did build a dollhouse a few years ago. That was a fun but very frustrating project. All right, so here is the Verge article. And I was glad that some tech websites started to pick this up. All right, so they kind of talk about this. Obviously, this needs to be updated. And then they embedded my video. So that was pretty surprising. And thank you to the Reddit person who tipped me off to that, because hey, at least they found it. But yeah, I don't think Cricut, I think they were probably kind of annoyed to see that a negative video about their brand was ranked number 2 or number 5 for the search term Cricut. I don't think they're going to be a Sewing Report fan. Let's just say that. But that's okay, because I'm not here to blow smoke up Cricut's butt. I'm here for you guys. So, all right, Al says IPO is an initial public offering. It is when a company goes from one to a small group of owners to a publicly owned and traded company. So Cricut is going to be able to buy. So are you guys going to buy Cricut stock? Are you tempted at all? Do you want to GameStop it? I did see some comments like that. The Cricut Reddit was so entertaining for me this week. Oh, man. All right, so here is Tink's Treasures. Great job. I've been a longtime Cricut person from the beginning, and I have seen this garbage before from Cricut with Make the Cut. And you know what the funny thing is? In the SEC filing, Cricut flat out said, we have taken legal action against third-party companies. So it does appear that Cricut has a vested interest in making all of these third-party companies that make Cricut adjacent products go away. They don't want third-party mats to be available. They don't want third-party cutting blades that are cheaper. It does appear that Cricut wants to do everything within its power to force you to buy only Cricut branded products and rely on that Cricut subscription. So I do feel pretty conflicted about that, and not in a good way. All right, Cindy says, Jen, I have a sewing machine but don't know how to sew. You have encouraged me to give it a try. I have subscribed and look forward to your videos in the future. Thank you, Cindy. And guys, I really appreciate all the support this week and all the comments that you guys have left on the Cricut video. And again, I'm very glad that some of the YouTubers spoke up. And I think that made a difference? Probably, yeah, because they could see this starting to spread around. I think all of the Facebook activity helped. Definitely the news articles for sure. All right, so Trisha says, look at Create and Craft TV. They have a section on Brother Scan and Cut. You can get lots of free downloads online. So here's my question, though. Does Brother allow third-party software, or does it force you to use their proprietary software? That does make a difference to me, and I am going to be looking at my options because, if anything, this has shown us that we don't really want this type of control over physical goods we buy. And I think this has been a pretty crazy week for sure. All right. Lovely says, it was nice seeing an unbiased opinion. I know, imagine that. I don't know. So, but thank you guys. I think I'm going to sign off pretty soon. But again, and if you guys have any questions about influencer stuff, let me know below. And also let me know if you're here and you're new and you're here from like the Cricut world, what kind of videos would you like me to see? Would you like to see me get in a different machine? And that's the thing, because I buy everything myself, I do get a lot of requests from people saying, hey, you know, could you review this machine or that machine? And I'm paying for everything out of pocket because I want to be able to do a truly like unbiased review on things and be able to speak freely. And the other thing about having these business ties is that even if you get free products, FTC guidelines, the Federal Trade Commission, requires influencers to disclose this everywhere. So say I got a free sewing machine from Singer. Even if they did not pay me and there was no official sponsorship, I am required by law, by the FTC guidelines, to verbally say that in a video, say Singer sent this to me for free, put a graphic in the video, that's also suggested, and of course in the description box. So if you start seeing YouTuber videos or blogs and they got free products, but they don't disclose that, they're actually going against FTC guidelines. I do see a lot of influencers that I don't think really understand those rules, and I do see a lot of violations. I don't think the FTC is gonna like go after them, but I do feel that you as a viewer should know what an influencer is supposed to do to disclose all business relationships. Even if they're not getting money, they're supposed to make it very clear to you that, like, say this Canon camera I'm filming with, if I got it for free, which I did not. And I really try, and that's why another reason why I don't like to accept a lot of freebies here is because I don't want my video to be cluttered up by all this disclaimers. I just want to be able to say, hey, I have this Singer sewing machine. Let's check it out. Instead of saying, hey, I have the Singer sewing machine, and by the way, I must disclose that I got this for free from the company, but that will not affect my opinion or whatever. So I just don't like all the hassle, and in many situations for me, it's just not worth it. So that's why I choose to go this route. It's not for everybody, I will admit it, but please understand that if not for me being in this situation, I would not have been able to make a video criticizing Cricut. So, and you've seen some influencers are in that spot this week. I have some empathy for them, and I do hope maybe some of them, and we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, maybe they were advocating for us privately and we don't know. So they could have been sticking up for us. I don't know. I would say don't try not to judge them too much. I get it. They sign these contracts. They're obligated to follow these contracts and their commitment to those companies. So, it is what it is. But, I do think this has highlighted just some of the ramifications of influencer marketing, influencer relationships, and how this can affect reporting on these companies that we're talking about. So, all right, let's pull up a few more comments. I'm super proud of the crafting company to step up and be. I know that was actually pretty cool to see so many people kind of band together. Also, the memes on the Reddit were really funny. I found a lot of entertainment in them, I'm not gonna lie. So, okay, let's see. Free conversion of SVG to PES file. Okay. I think that might be Or is that spam or are you for real? I don't know. Anyways, I really appreciate the support, guys. And, if you like this, let me know, because I've been doing a lot of thinking in the aftermath of this, and I don't want to stop making videos like this. I want to keep calling companies out, or calling situations like this out. And the more independent I am as a YouTuber, the more I can do this. So I hope that, and that's why I want to talk about this, is to kind of explain why influencers with a lot of business relationships are not really able to talk like this. And that's why media outlets don't let journalists accept stuff for free. Is because if you have, and I will say, from being in TV news, there were some times, so I know a lot of people are like, the media is unbiased, and, I'll admit, sometimes there are certain journalists that do let their biases kind of get in the way of what they're doing. I will say that. But in many situations, it was the sponsors of the TV station that would provide a conflict of interest. So there have been situations. I remember working as a producer, and I did feature, back in the day, I did a lot of feature stories with this one station, and we would often have to do stories, news stories about sponsors. So if that tells you anything about how TV works, every industry is about money, and the media is about money. They want you to click on stories, they want you to watch the newscast, and they'll do what they can to bring in the ad money. So I do remember quite a few occasions where this wasn't a story we would have done otherwise, but my boss would come to me and say, hey, we have to do a story on this car dealership because they're a sponsor. So just know that as a viewer, that is happening, and that happens in a lot of different industries, and that's very that's very common. That's happened at every station I've worked at. And say I have a car dealership sponsor here on the channel, and then say that car dealership commits a crime, like somebody there gets arrested for tax evasion. I'm not going to be able to objectively cover what happened, here on the channel. Not that this channel is about crime. I've thought about doing news content, but I'll be honest with you, there's too much liability that comes with it, and I don't want to have that hassle. There's just too much legal stuff that I would need to worry about. And I really like making sewing and crafting videos because I'm using footage I shot myself, and it's not typically too controversial, and there's not as much personal risk for liability. So that is one thing. Okay, so Enigmata. Okay, I like that. I think your videos are very effective due to your news background. Thank you. You offer the facts without emotions. None of that. It's not fair. They suck. You present the news clear and balanced. All right. Well, thank you. And I don't. Sometimes I'm like, why am I end up doing news type videos? I don't even know if I should be doing them. I don't know. But I'm glad this week I was able to hopefully help make a difference. All right, just fine. All right, here we go. Saw both of your Cricut videos today. You're very articulate. You did a wonderful job of explaining this particular situation. So yeah, it is. The influencer stuff is that's definitely its own thing, and that's why I'm trying to do a video with this other actually it's two people. I keep messing up what I'm saying. And we're gonna kind of share our experience as influencers. And by the way, I hate the word influencer. I think it sounds so vapid, like I'm taking bikini pictures on the beach and asking restaurants for free meals or something. It just seems so stupid. I don't know what. Yeah, I guess I call myself a video producer. And I'll talk. You know what? If you're new here and you're and this is the first week you've ever heard of me, I've been doing this channel for 5 years. I started the Sewing Report in 2016, around Valentine's Day. I worked at CNN for a little bit of that time while I was kind of growing the channel. I decided I'll be honest, I was not liking my job very much. There are definitely some good and bad things about CNN, but at a certain point, I just didn't want to work in the media anymore, so I decided to try to figure out a way to not do that anymore. So I am child free. I am married. I've been married to my husband for 12 years. And I was just so burnt out from the news business. I was just like, I gotta do something else. So I started growing this channel for a little bit. And when I quit my job, it was in 2017. I only had like 7,000 subscribers, which was sort of insane at the time, but I did it anyways. But the reason I was able to walk away was because we had just gotten out of debt. My husband and I paid off $180,000 in student loans. So not having $1,500 a month to pay on student loans freed up a lot of money per month. We have very low living expenses. I am child free by choice, so you won't be seeing any pregnancy announcements here. I do like kids. I'm not like anti-kid or anything. I just don't have a desire to have my own children, and we've made that decision a permanent one. So my situation is different than someone who has children or has more obligations. It's just the two of us. We're both pretty cheap, and we have very low living expenses. So when I was going full in on this whole thing, I didn't need to make a ton of money to make it feasible, because on paper, the numbers make sense. I live in Florida. I live in a pretty low cost area of living, and this worked. And over time, I've grown this a bit. And I think one difference for me is that we have 4 monetized channels between my husband. We have 3 monetized channels, sorry. And then I also do video production for my friend who's a realtor, and her real estate channel is really starting to take off. And because I'm doing that freelance work, between everything else I've got going on, I recently started an Etsy shop where I sell curated sewing supplies. Those things are what makes it possible for me to be an independent creator. And I am very, very grateful for that. So that's me in a nutshell. If you have any questions, let me know. All right. Yes, I do. I have tried to diversify. And the thing I like about doing the Etsy shop is that I sell the products that I use all the time. So basically when I was starting it, and I'm trying to do some sewing, some ready to sew kits. So I have one on there. It's called the Drawstring Bag Kit. And I have all the pieces pre-cut so you don't have to do any of the cutting. And I took all of the products I've been using for a while, and I became kind of a retailer, I guess. And now I can buy wholesale the products that I actually use and share that with you guys. So that is kind of how I'm making it work. Yeah, Helen, I agree with you. I feel sorry for creatives who put all their eggs in one basket and then watch the company blow up support where they have no control. And with this whole influencer ecosystem, I put more responsibility on the companies. I think the companies that work with influencers, I've just personally had some pretty bad experiences enough where I'm like, I don't want any of that. And I think I think influencers need to demand change, but also companies need to operate differently. And I think there's some problems within that space, especially, again, if you're not independent, look at all the big YouTube channels that really couldn't speak up on behalf of the community publicly. Although I really do hope that behind the scenes, maybe they were reaching out to their contacts at Cricut and saying, hey, this is messed up. You need to fix this. So we don't know. They could have been advocating for us behind the scenes and saying, hey, this is blowing up. You have to do something. So I feel like without being on, I would love to be a fly on the wall this week at Cricut, unless they're working remotely. Maybe it's a Zoom call or something where they're all like freaking out. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what happened when they saw, things really, oh my God. Okay. And bikini pictures holding a Cricut. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't think that's going to happen here. I haven't put on a bathing suit in probably 5 years. I don't have let's just say I don't have the figure to be a bikini model. Although OnlyFans is very popular now. Should I do a Sewing Report OnlyFans? I think people on that site, they would be like, what is this? This is not what I'm here for. I think OnlyFans is for a certain type of consumer, and I don't think they would really resonate with my content there. Oh wait, sorry, I put that up. Okay. Okay, I think I put that one up already. Oh, sorry, I need to scroll down. All right. Never telling. Okay, I'd rather listen to an independent tired of shills for a company. And that's something you have to keep in mind when you're watching sponsored content. While it is content, it's also an ad. So, hopefully we're all adults and we can figure that out for ourselves. So, but yeah, this has been an interesting week, that is for sure. I'm glad maybe if anything, it got me out of the rut of not doing live streams. I haven't done them very recently. I kind of felt like, I think people really prefer my edited videos. I do tend to blab a lot, so if you like blabbing, I'm for you. If you hate people who talk a lot, I may not be your cup of tea. I talk a lot, so I could do a live stream for 5 hours pretty easily. I'm probably not going to, because I think people get really sick of it and then just, not want me to be on YouTube anymore. I don't know. So, okay, Tiffany says, I've watched a lot of your sewing videos. I enjoy them during the pandemic. I now have 3 sewing machines, a serger, and embroidery channel. Your channels help. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And here's the thing. That's another reason why that's the reason why I want to pay for my equipment myself, is because your money, like I'm very financially minded, and your money, we all work hard for what we have, and we all want to make really smart buying choices. And I don't feel like I could do the types of videos I do without actually putting up the money myself to get it. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with this $1,000 worth of Cricut stuff. If you guys have any clever ideas, let me know. But I'm not going to be giving Cricut any more free publicity, and I'm definitely going to be transitioning to something else. I don't know what I'm going to do though, because this stuff was so expensive. I spent like way too much money on Cricut stuff, and it's because I thought I was going to be able to do videos about the Cricut Maker for a really long time. I was like, this will be a good investment. And I do really try to, and I have to think, hey, a lot of the income that I generate through the channel, I do put it back into equipment, into sewing supplies, into new machines to show you guys. And I would like to try to start doing more equipment, maybe trying out new models. But I also have to try to predict what you guys want. So I purchased the Brother CS7000i kind of when it was new, and the same thing with the Brother PE800 embroidery machines. And by the way, I still love those machines. Not sponsored, paid for myself. I think they're great. I think they're great values, and I would recommend those to beginner sewists or beginner embroidery folks. Okay, Mandy says, I was so upset because I bought a mug press and some mugs, and 2 days later found out about their changes. I was so mad, I just gave them all that money. And I don't think you're alone. I do think a lot of customers feel like the timing all of this. They release the mug press, everyone starts talking about it. Then they file for the IPO, and then they announce these changes. It is a little strange. Okay, people keep telling me to check my roast. I'll probably do that in a little bit. I think it's probably still okay though. It's only been in the oven for about 4 hours, and I cook my roasts for about 8 hours, so it'll probably be ready by midnight at this point. I eat really late, and daylight savings time has wrecked me. Like you're probably gonna be like, what is this girl? But ever since daylight savings happened, I cannot fall asleep before 6 a.m. And then I wake up around 1 or 2. It's crazy. I am so messed up this week as far as the sleep goes. I gotta try to like figure out what's going on. All right, Never Tellin says, you can still do Cricut videos. Just say you're not recommending this machine for future buyers, but be nice to see what you create. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about it, but that's the thing though. Here's the thing though, even if I use it, I'm giving Cricut free advertising, and that's the thing where I'm like, do I really want to do that after this company kind of tried to screw over the customers this week? I don't know. All right, and I'm gonna edit. Oh, sorry, all right, I got this water. Okay, I like your channel because the tools are accessible to most people. I stay away from obvious sponsored content because it's unfair to the average person. So many people buying for the sake of buying. You are so right about that. I get very fed up with seeing the endless amount of consumerism on social media. I think that's okay. Sorry, I think that's insane, and I try not to push it too much. I think I try to keep it at a healthy balance. Obviously, I buy new stuff every once in a while. I'm not perfect. I am an advocate for more sustainable fashion, or at least buying less stuff. And I try not to do a lot of fast fashion purchases. And in fact, I talked a lot about that with Jack. So if you want to check out that conversation, we had a really great talk about everything. And it's just, yeah, it's just there's so much out there, and we don't need to buy everything under the sun. And I saw the Cricut mug press, and I was like, I just don't see the need for me to buy that. I don't make very many mugs, and I guess the thing that I saw with it, I was like, okay, the mug press is like $200, and then I saw the price for their proprietary blanks that I guess you kind of have to use. And I was like, okay, those mugs are like $5 or $6 each. I could go to Target and also get a cute mug for about the same price, but without buying the mug press. So I think if you customize a lot of mugs, that might make more sense. But I just don't see my house turning into like a mug factory. So the Cricut mug press just didn't really catch my eye. And I don't know, it just didn't, it's probably not something I need or want. And I really try not to buy stuff that I won't actually use. So, and I just don't see myself using the Cricut mug press at all. If you like it, I think that's cool. You know, it's just not one of those things where I was like, yeah, I can definitely see myself, you know, crafting late into the night making mugs. I feel like I have way too many coffee mugs. Do you guys have that problem? I just have so many coffee mugs that I just don't need any more mugs. And it seems like every time there's like a holiday, people will gift you a new mug, and I have no need to buy any more coffee mugs. So, Jen at Mug Report. Oh, geez. Oh, I do have to share this though. I got this week. I'm trying to drink more water. I got this cup, like it's like an insulated tumbler. I don't know what you like, whatever. And I actually really like this. The thing I liked about this tumbler, I got it from Target. It's by a company called like Reduce something, and it was on sale. But it comes with a really cool straw. Everything's dishwasher safe, and that's what I love. I don't like to buy dishware that's not dishwasher safe. And we have another one of those vacuum sealed like mug type things, and you have to hand wash it, which is a pain in the butt. So shout out to this company, Reduce. This is also not sponsored, but I'm liking this. It has like a silicone sleeve on it, so you don't lose your grip. I think it'll fit into my car's cup holder, and it keeps your drink cold for a long time. So that is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just trying to drink more water. And it's 9:44. I have not eaten anything today, I have had a cup of coffee and I've had water. So, I don't know. I only eat once a day though, so that's where I'm at with that. But yeah, this mug thing is pretty cool, and you can like use it 3 ways. You can, like this thing comes out, so if you don't want to use the straw, you can just drink out of it. But I really like the straw, and I love the fact that you can put the whole thing in the dishwasher. That's like the best thing about it. I also don't buy dry clean only clothes. I am that lazy person in your life that I haven't washed my hair in like 3 days. So I decided to jump on here. I wanted to update you guys. I also want to ask you, what do you think of my email exchange with the Cricut PR person where they emailed me back and just sent me that blanket statement, and then they immediately wrote back and said, are you going to do a follow-up video? Because I just got the vibe that they do not want my original video floating around. They do not like that. So I found that pretty interesting, and it did not improve, let's just say it did not improve my opinion on the company at all. So I have asked Cricut PR if someone with Cricut will go on the channel with me on camera to talk about this. They said, we'll put in the ask and let you know. I'm going to guess that's a no, especially because if they come on the sewing report, this is not going to be like, and I flat out told them in my email, I said, it's not going to be a puff piece. Like, this is not going to be a fluffy video with all like Cricut love. This is going to be, I said I would be fair. I will be fair, but this is not a hit piece nor a puff piece. And if you're not familiar, a hit piece is like a media outlet that clearly hates you. A puff piece is like totally non-critical. Neither types of journalism is really good. But, and I just flat out told them, I was like, I'm not a Cricut cheerleader. I am going to ask you questions that people want to know. So if I get an answer on the machines and what that means for your account moving forward, if you switch out your machines, will the unlimited upload feature continue? So I'll do an update if that happens, and I really hope to bring you videos later in this week. So one, if I do this collaboration, one will be on my channel and one will be on this other channel. And we're going to do a video specifically diving into the SEC filing. That's going to be one. Even though they've made this announcement, we still want to talk about that because a lot of information is in that SEC filing. And we also want to do another video where we kind of compare and contrast our influencer experiences, because I know there has been a lot of criticism over the Cricut stable of influencers. So we did want to kind of shed some light on that. Okay. Oh, this is good. And thank you for that. Everyone rewatch that first video again so it can continue to be recommended on YouTube. That would be awesome. Please do that. So this was a question that came up a lot on Reddit, and I will explain this more in detail. So the YouTube algorithm goes on a lot of metrics. So the factors for your video taking off in the algorithm and getting a lot of visibility relies on a few factors. One is your title. So is your clickable, and I guess my Cricut video had a good title. Cricut Design Space Changes Disaster. I'm sure the Cricut people probably aren't a fan. I worked very hard on the thumbnail. I spend a lot of time on my thumbnails, usually at least a half an hour to an hour sometimes more. And I always try to think about what the thumbnail is, usually before I make the video. And the other thing that really affects your visibility in YouTube's algorithm is, so it's the click-through rate. It is the click-through rate, which is your title and thumbnail. It is, if you engage, do you leave a thumbs up? Do you leave a thumbs down? Do you leave a comment? And how long you watch. So the longer someone watches your video, those are all things YouTube sees as good signals. And it's all done by artificial intelligence or AI and all of those things. So if you clicked on my video, if you watched the whole thing, you left a comment and you gave it a thumbs up, the more people that do that, the more YouTube is like, hey, this is a good quality video. Let's show it to more people. So those are the factors that really help or hurt a creator. So if you do, so say there's a creator you don't like and you don't want to support, what you should do in that situation is just to ignore the channel completely, because I don't know if people realize this or not, but even leaving a bad comment or a thumbs down actually helps the creator, because any engagement is seen by YouTube as good engagement. So I know people are like, let's dislike all of Cricut's videos and leave nasty comments. That actually helps Cricut's videos rank higher in YouTube's algorithm and get seen by more people. So if you really want to stick it to any channel out there, ignore it completely. Don't even click on the video. Don't watch. Don't leave a comment, and don't leave a thumbs up or thumbs down. So those are some things you can do if you really want to say, suck it or whatever. If you want to help a channel, doing the opposite of that. So watch all their videos, watch to the very end, leave them a thumbs up and leave a comment. That actually really helps. Like, you have no idea how much that really helps videos like mine to try to spike a bit in the YouTube algorithm. So, okay. All right. I'm not going to say this creator's name, but I have seen a lot of posts criticizing them for their response. It is what it is. And if you want to know more about the YouTube algorithm, I highly recommend this book I just finished this week. It's by Derral Eves, and it's called The YouTube Formula. It is available on Amazon and everywhere else. And that book, I've been following Derral Eves for years, but he really explains the algorithm well and how it all works. So if you are interested, that's the book to get. Okay, EJ's daughter says, oh wait, I would like a shirt that says "Suck it, Cricket." Okay, fair enough. EJ's daughter says, hello everyone, just got here. What is it about Cricket? All right, EJ, I don't know if you've heard, Cricket originally, I believe it was on Friday. Oh, and let's also talk about the timing that they decided to do this. So Cricket put out an announcement with some Design Space updates. That's the software that Cricket uses so that you can cut out your stuff and use the machine. And they said that they were going to be limiting the free plan. If you don't pay for it, they were going to limit how many images you upload to 20 per month. So basically, they were saying, even though you already bought this machine, in order to keep on using it in like a realistic way, you got to pay us $10 a month. And there was a lot of blowback, and today they finally said they've kind of walked it back. And I'll put up the statement again. Hold on a second. So we'll put this up one more time for the people in the back. Ooh, wow, I'm so like out of it today, so I apologize. So then they released this, saying, we're not going to do this now until the end of the year, and all of the current users are grandfathered in. So if you already have a Cricut account, you're fine, and you have a free plan. Obviously, anybody with a paid plan, you weren't really affected. So the timing, they originally put out their announcement with the upload limit on Friday afternoon. And I can tell you, as an ex-media member, when any organization puts out news releases on Friday, it's called the Friday news dump, and it's usually bad news. And they do that intentionally so that people don't pay attention. Because it's the weekend and you're getting off of work, a lot of people tend to miss that news. So that is so notorious for any company, or also sometimes law enforcement agencies do that, government agencies. Any news that's not going to be well received, a company will purposely do it on Friday afternoon, knowing no one will pay attention. And the other sneaky thing about that is that obviously with many workplaces, the weekend and evening staff is slimmer. So say you're working in a newsroom and there's 30 people that work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 or something. Friday night, there might be 5 people working on it. So the chance that they won't be able to cover as many stories on the weekends. So that's another reason why companies do that, is because media outlets don't have the resources to be able to cover as much stuff. So they know that their story is less likely to be covered in depth if they release bad news on Friday afternoon. So just a tidbit from your friendly ex-TV producer here. I've seen the Friday news dump many times, and it's always pretty sketchy, but it is what it is. All right, let's read some more comments. Yeah, and Cricut is going public, so there's going to be Cricut stock. Are you guys going to buy the Cricut stock? Are you guys? Yeah, EJ's daughter says it's kind of like getting fried on Friday. Yep. That's what they're doing. All right. I suspect they will do what to the maker, what they did to Expression. Okay, so you think they're going to brick, does that mean you think they're going to brick the makers or something? I don't know. It's a little weird, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Enigmata says, too tired to call to complain on Friday. By Monday, you would have either cooled off or forgot. That's exactly, and I think that's what Cricut was originally expecting. And I don't know if this is true, but somebody on Reddit said they actually allegedly emailed the CEO and got an out of office notice. So the guy was like not on vacation or something. So it does make sense that they're releasing this news maybe when he got back to work and saw what a firestorm there was going on with all the Cricut stuff. Okay, Mel, Anne, all right. Can you do HTV with the Silhouette? I believe you definitely can. Anne says, hell no, not buying stock. Should we all just buy GameStop stock or something? Which, by the way, I think GameStop is now like back up or something. I'm going to put all my money in Blockbuster, or maybe one of those other defunct companies. I also saw I saw one guy was trying to buy like AMC Theater stock, like kind of companies that are like not doing very well. Yeah, so it looks like, okay, sorry. So no thanks says, so like boost revenue before IPO. Yeah. And it does seem like from the SEC filing that Cricut wanted to show that they could still increase revenue through more subscriptions. And I am getting the vibe that Cricut's goal is to increase subscriberships, get people to buy the subscription, get them hooked. I guess I've decided I'm not going to re-up my subscription. Even though I actually kind of like the Axis stuff, but I'm just out of principle. I just can't. I'm just not going to do it. Oh man. All right, all right, maybe it's not a great idea to gamble. I do own some stock. I will say, my husband and I have bought several single stocks over the past few years, and they've all done pretty well. There's a stock called AMD. They make a lot of computer components. I bought AMC stock at $6, and it's now $85. So we've gotten pretty lucky with that. So who knows how long that'll last. And I do actually own a little bit of Bitcoin. And that actually has gone up in value too. So who knows? I'm experimenting with it. Okay, so Blue Bungalow Craft says, Silhouette is like the Cricut and what it can cut. It simply has much better software than Cricut. I'm very curious to try out the Silhouette software. At this point, I'm about 80% sure I'm going to do a Silhouette. I'm not sure which model. I would like to try that, but I do feel like with this platform, I do not feel good promoting Cricut any longer. At least not not in a free advert. Obviously, I'm doing a video about Cricut now, but this is probably not the kind of advertisement Cricut wants. So, and I'm okay with that. All right, you guys, I am gonna check on the roast now. So don't worry. My house is not burned down yet, so I think I'm good. But thank you. I really appreciate everyone watching. If you have not checked out the original Cricut video, you're welcome to watch that. I would also really recommend if you're not very familiar with the Sewing Report content, and I'll link this after this live is over. I can edit the video, and I will link the video I did about my thoughts on sponsorships and brand deals, because I do think that might be of interest to you there. So, all right, and one more comment. I don't think Cricut in its current ownership will survive 2 to 3 years. With this news, people will be apprehensive about buying more Cricut tools. Cricut will go IPO, lose money, sell to someone else. Time will tell. Time will tell. Well, you guys have a great night, and I am so tired right now, so I'm going to have to stop before I start talking total nonsense. But again, I really appreciate everything. If you haven't already, I hope I can earn your subscription, and I hope I can put out content that brings value to you and that you enjoy. This channel is about making sewing and crafts fun and approachable, and the occasional news in our space. So you guys have a great night, and I'll see you again in the next video.